Happy Halloween, boys and ghouls! We have a very special Halloween episode of What's in the Box this week. I will need better lights than this lantern. Given that today is Halloween, I have curated a bloody good box of monster and horror promo items this week that kick off with a custom Hotel Transylvania 3 coffin that we worked on for Sony for the home entertainment release that came out a few years ago. As such, I have a special box this week that is part of our promo items. And now, let's see what's inside the box. All right, so the first thing in today's box, which has already made a brief appearance, is the head on a stick. I guess I could have put a head on the box in the first episode. Anyway, this one goes all the way back to Bordello of Blood. Does not get talked about very much these days, but that is the first item in today's Halloween box, Crypt Keeper. For the next item, also have already made an appearance, was the clever lanterns from Insidious, which are actually quite handy LED lanterns. I've used these to read books to my kid at night, so it has been a useful object to have. When we worked on the first Insidious, when we did worked with our friend Mac McLean, who did the haunted house at Comic-Con, that was pretty cool. And was, promoted by our old friends at FearNet. I was trying to give this back to them in case they wanted to keep it, and then, they're not around anymore, so it's mine. The next item is actually not in the box. I am wearing it today. As I have mentioned before, I very much enjoy the in-world. This is a good enough shirt that my wife has actually worn it twice on Halloween. These were made for Jason X. Jason in Space. It's like I should have had a branded sleeping bag to go with that. Dueling sleeping bags. He just wanted his machete back. I don't know what people's problem was. Jason X, check it out. So the best thing about Halloween is the movies and the candy. And when you can have candy from a movie, chef's kiss. Well, Motel Hell chef's kiss. But anyway, so today's item we have is from our favorite candy sack kid, Sam, from the excellent Trick or Treat. This replica sucker probably could be used to kill somebody, but this replica sucker was made by a good friend of mine, Chris Erb, who runs a video game marketing company, Triple Clicks, and he had made this for a special Egyptian screening of Trick or Treat when he was working at Legendary. Sam's Lollipop, excellent thing, and probably not, shouldn't eat that. I mean, maybe I've eaten a few of the other ones. I did have more than one. Moving on. Speaking of sacks, I said sacks. Jeez. Another brilliant horror film, Frailty. The wonderful, touching tale of fathers and sons, and really brings all new meaning of taking people out to the woodshed. I have 2 sheds. My son spends about 5 days a week out there. It's homeschooling. For murder. For all the other parents out there who maybe are doing the homeschooling thing, I know what you do need at the end of one of these days, and that is a nice, warm drink. This lovely pint glass still has beer in it from Shaun of the Dead. I don't know how old it is, but I mean, they do like it warm, right? All right, back to work. And kind of keeping track of all of these items does take a lot of work, so it's nice when you have office supplies that can help with the process. Not using this one at the moment, but who doesn't need a nice clipboard? Keep track of all the screams and scares that you need to wrap up your Halloween episode. So this lovely metal Monsters Inc. clipboard that was made for the original theatrical run has gotten a lot of use over the years and is still in really good condition. Since you've gotten this far in the episode, I assume you do like scary movies. So on that note, I have another treat that I have no intention of making or eating, and that is Jiffy Pop from the original theatrical release of Scream. I try and keep this stored in a Ziploc sack because the butter bleeds through this like crazy. And not ever gonna see what that looks like on the inside. This is actually such a funny promotional item that we recently replicated it for another movie we were working on, but I'll highlight that in another episode. On the topic of liking scary movies, for those of you who might have visited the I Like Scary Movies pop-up experience in Los Angeles last year, The artist behind it, Mac McLean, had done a lot of experiential sets for Comic-Con. One of them being the Snakes on a Plane fuselage, another being the Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl replica, and the Pan's Labyrinth tree, which, if you reached your hand inside, the goo held a key replica that you were able to keep as a promotional item for the film and take home. That tree was pretty dope and ended up living in the ArcLight lobby for a while before that film released after the fact. Another fun item collected from the San Diego Comic-Con is a chainsaw hand from Ash vs. Evil Dead. I mean, if you're gonna make a foam hand, this is the way to go. Especially if you're like me, who has actually gone as Ash for Halloween. And I'll tell you right now, making that harness, not as easy as it looks. Before I stick my hand back into the box, I just want to take a brief pause to point out the fact that my company, Click, we do a lot of film and television publicity and marketing, and one of my favorite things to do is to actually create promotional items that are more in line with collectibles and replicas or clever twists on particular items. I'm also a huge fan of collecting original pop art, and one of my favorite artists that I discovered is a shop called Tales From the Stitch, and she knits these amazing dolls from all sorts of horror films. I have a personal collection of these dolls, but I also reached out and asked if she would make some other dolls for us, and one of them, which was a big fan fave, is the Pale Lady from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This is one of my favorite dolls that we've done, and it is a brilliant version of a very gross creature. So you should check her out. It looks like the box is empty, and oh, got one more in here. I'm also a very big fan of puns and dumb jokes, and this is one of my favorite ideas. We're very pleased that we were able to work with Universal on this. For what was definitely one of the better horror films that has come out this year, and that is the Invisible Man action figure. It's such a simple thing, but as someone who's been collecting action figures since wee child, this is definitely a keeper for the collection. It was a lot of fun to work on. All right, that's it for the Halloween episode. Thank you so much for watching. The next episode will be on Friday the 13th. Hopefully that one will go better than the last Friday the 13th. Quarantine. And don't forget to subscribe and like and check out our Instagram too. We'll do galleries of the stuff that's in here and have been posting those after the show's run. Keep on collecting. Happy Halloween!
Thanks for the beer, babe.
Cheers.